Now move it right in front of your face.
It's moving.
Yeah.
Investment opportunity turned out to be a devastating fraud for Doug and Victoria Lloyd.
What? I could have acted and I didn't.
Claiming to be the actual celebrity themselves. Now we can see 4 people claiming to be the legitimate Reese Witherspoon and 3 people claiming to be the legitimate Jenna Ortega.
So these
between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag.
That?
A shadow stands where the light should be, as I search for the key that will set the truth free. Listen to that silence. Step into the dark, for this is Sunny Noir. What connects a school principal's career being destroyed through the use of deepfake? A fake robocall extended to you by yours truly, Joe Biden. AI scams involving an employee and a company in Hong Kong. And finally, a virtual kidnapping incident involving a Chinese student. I went further into the artificial intelligence rabbit hole and uncovered 5 levels of ascending evil that humans have done using AI. And I must tell you, AI can only get as evil as the human that's currently using it. Let this video serve you as a warning. Level 4 and 5 will show you the true depth of how deep this rabbit hole goes. Level 1. Deepfake Revenge. As I move through this hilarious but serious story, keep these 3 specific words in mind. So just 2 years ago, on January 17th, 2024, a school by the name of Pikesville High went through something rather interesting. Imagine this. A principal that was put on administrative leave due to a video coming out of him saying heinous things about a certain demographic, a shady athletic director who was embezzling money, a conspiracy that unraveled as the police investigated further into the school, and finally an attempt to flee the country like some Jason Bourne type shit. So the story goes something like this. Pikesville High School principal Eric Eiswert was put on administrative leave during the month of January due to a deep fake video coming out of him saying some really insulting things about Jewish people and black people.
I don't understand why I have to constantly put up with these dumb here every day. Between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag.
That right there was the deepfake video, and it was specifically targeting African American kids that went to this specific school. But the question still remains, who the hell made this video trying to destroy Eric Eiswert's reputation, and what was the reason behind it? Enter Mr. Slim Shady, the man in the shadows, Jaqen Hagar from Game of Thrones himself, Mr. Todd from Breaking Bad who shot the kid on the bike, Mephisto, Ball, and Lucifer himself, that goddamn athletic director by the name of Dazon Darien. This man used school funds to send $2,000 to himself and lied to the principal saying that an assistant coach was paid for the fair share of work in helping him with the girls' soccer team. You know where that $2,000 went, right? Straight up his goddamn nose. I couldn't even get a hold of that assistant coach that worked with the girls' soccer team. So we don't even know where the heck he went, but it turns out that Darien also fired a previous coach for no reason and didn't even check in with the principal. Tensions were obviously rising between the principal and the disconnect between the athletic director, and that's when this specific recording emerged.
For me and only me. You know, I seriously don't understand why I have to constantly put up with these dumbasses here every day. Between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag, or these teachers who don't get it, how hard is it to get these students to meet their grade level expectations? Lawrence and Ravenel should have never been hired. And don't let me get started on DJ. I'm going to drag his black ass out of here one way or another. I'm going to get something to stick. I'm just so sick of the inadequacies of these people. And if I have to get one more complaint from one more Jew in this community, I'm going to join the other side. Kathy, I'm done.
Recording was generated through the use of artificial intelligence technology. Through their investigation, detectives alleged Mr. Darian, who was the athletic director at the high school, made the recording to retaliate against the principal who had launched an investigation into the potential mishandling of school funds.
Baltimore County.
After everything was said and done, long story short, turns out the athletic director was so disgruntled with the principal that he embezzled money, fired a coach, reached out to the family friend who created a Google email address by the name of TJOUST9, who was also responsible for creating that deep-faked video to basically get the principal fired, which a detective caught onto because the TJT9 guy is such a dumbass, and ultimately Darian tried to flee the country through the use of the Baltimore airport and got caught right at the airport. Moral of the story, every human being thinks differently, and if someone is disgruntled with you, they might not verbally show it or physically do anything to you, but they might be plotting some sort of AI revenge. Turns out that Darian's bail was set to $5,000 and he was sentenced to 4 months in prison for federal charges that include, but not are limited to, child exploitation, theft, stalking, retaliating against a witness, and disturbing school operations. Oh my goodness. Folks, this is just the beginning of the ladder we're about to climb. There are 5 levels all in total to see how evil humans can get with the addition of AI in their hands. Quick question. What does this story have in common with Elon Musk's deepfake and the ARUP scandal in Hong Kong? Level 2. AI online scams. So far we understand what a deepfake does to ruin someone's life. But what about when someone goes out of the way to set up a deliberate online AI scam? This next employee, oh my goodness, let's just say they got swindled even harder.
Just last month, a finance worker in Hong Kong got scammed into paying a whopping $25 million to scammers who used deepfake technology to successfully pose as a company executive during an entire Zoom meeting.
ARUP, or ARUP for short, is a global engineering firm that's actually very well respected. What's the best way to scam one of the employees there? That would be to deepfake and pretend to be the company's CFO and authorize a large transaction. So the ARUP employee was told to get on a meeting with 3 other people inside the meeting, including the CFO. The victim wasn't just talking to a pre-recorded video. That would be too easy to spot. They were actually engaged in a real-time deepfake. As the scammers who pretended to be the company's main and upper management, as the more they talked, the model mapped their facial expressions, every nod, every microfrown, every hesitation, directly onto the face of the CFO. After everything was said and done, the employee was instructed by the CFO to transfer $25 million to a specific account by breaking the payments up into smaller payments. And that's all that needed to happen. 25 million vanished into thin air, all because the employee did not want to question the authenticity of the video call. I'm telling you, these criminals, they're getting more crafty, they're getting more clever, and simply they just have a lot more balls than they did back in the day. It takes a lot of guts and planning and preparation to get past a company's security and deep fake and pretend to be someone else, and even rob $25 million. So, now that we're in level 3, let's talk about the famous Joe Biden robocall scam. If you're not American, don't worry. This scam is just mainly meant for during election times, where they basically try to get you to vote for a specific party by sending out fake robocalls generated by AI to make it seem like the president is calling you and leaving you a voicemail, but it's actually a scammer doing the opposite. So the real question is, how does politics get influenced or a country's laws get changed through the use of AI? It's because of things like this.
We know the value of voting Democratic when our votes count. It's important that you save your vote for the November election. We'll need your help in electing Democrats up and down the ticket. Voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again. Your vote makes a difference in November, not this Tuesday. If you would like to be removed from future calls, please press 2 now.
This Joe Biden robocall scam was the biggest voice clone attack ever recorded. The campaign was orchestrated by this man, Steve Kramer, a political consultant. He hired a magician and a hypnotist by the name of Paul Carpenter to create the audio for $150. Through the use of Lingo Telecom, calls were transmitted and sent out to daily voters of New Hampshire. But why? Why would someone want to do this? It was for one particular reason: to disrupt voters in the primary election by forcing Democratic voters from casting their ballots. Unfortunately, the scam didn't work. Many voters recognized that this voice was a quote-unquote robocall, and the message was inherently contradictory to standard voting advice. So it was pretty easy for the voters to dismiss this call as a prank or a scam. It was a good attempt though.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Level 4. Human violation. Virtual grooming, virtual kidnapping, and virtual extortion through the use of AI. Before we dive into this level, my fellow viewers, just understand that we are now at the point of no return. This is what some humans do in the background while the world turns. Allow me to show you what I discovered. An international Chinese student by the name of Kate, studying in Australia, was virtually kidnapped. How does someone get virtually kidnapped? Does the computer reach into their room and tie their hands behind their back? No. It's all psychological. Through the series of social exchanges, Kate was forced to remove her SIM card, check into a hotel with cash, and stage photos to simulate her own abduction because the manipulator had convinced her that she was under an investigation by the Chinese police. Those pictures of Kate were then sent to her parents, and the suspect demanded large amounts of ransom in order to release her daughter. The scam is a little bit weird. It baffles me because the whole idea behind virtual kidnapping is you psychologically torture someone and make them worry about certain things that are important in their life so that they could tie themselves up, their own self up, with ropes and wires, take calculated pictures, and then send them back to the scammer, so then the scammer can send them those pictures back to their parents and demand a ransom. The whole aspect of virtual kidnapping is kidnapping yourself.
In views.
I was awoken this morning at 7:20 a.m. roughly to a phone call from my sister. Like, it was her contact, it was her face that popped up on my phone, It looked exactly like my sister was calling.
In her case, Beth said thieves hijacked her sister Kayla's actual number, the caller claiming to be holding her hostage, demanding money to free her.
The weak point was Kate's vulnerability to being investigated. Imagine someone coming out of the blue saying that you're under some sort of investigation by the CIA. That would cause that person to have a mini heart attack. I know I would. The breakthrough eventually came when facial recognition technology shared with the Home Affairs identified the suspect who was virtually kidnapping Kate as a guy named Tommy, who is a student from the University of Queensland. Further investigation revealed that the suspect had committed similar offenses in New South Wales, Tasmania, and Victoria. Tommy was eventually caught because, like all criminals, he just got too confident, and personally, I'm glad he gets a taste of what jail life has to offer. My condolences still remain with the victim, and I wish them a speedy recovery. Another version of this type of scam has to do with non-consensual explicit photos created by Grok, which is another AI that belongs to Elon Musk, to basically manipulate people and the victims into sending them money in the fear of those pictures being released to the world.
Grok, the AI chatbot launched by Elon Musk on his platform X, has come under global fire this week after the app has been flooded with sexualized images of women and children after the app rolled out a spicy mode for its paid users last summer. Now, since late December, users on X have prompted Grok to digitally undress, in other words, generate sexualized AI-altered versions of real women and children. Now, the most common prompts were remove her clothes and, as we can see here, put her in a bikini.
So, Grok generated over 6,000 sexual deepfake images per hour in regards to celebrities, everyday citizens, school students, and in some cases, individuals that were underage as well. It truly is despicable. This non-consensual photo generation scam forces people into a corner where people can demand money for those explicit videos that they weren't even responsible for. Now, there's a level up from this. It's called virtual extortion. Picture this for a second. A notification pops up in the dark in a seemingly ordinary conversation on the glowing screen of a high school sophomore's device twists itself into a lethal nightmare for this 16-year-old by the name of Elijah Heck. The same thing that was happening to Kate is the same thing that's happening to Elijah. AI-generated images were being blasted to his friends and his family, and it was a calculated extortion plot that turned Elijah's world upside down. His parents, Shannon and John, knowing their son top to bottom, recognized the deception that was going on, and the predator's psychological grip proved suffocating, forcing Elijah into a frantic, impossible race against the clock. Eventually, the story got so bad, Elijah's reputation went down the drain so much that Elijah took his own life because of the toll of this incident. Level 5. How AI handles war simulations.
Where is AI being used at the moment on the battlefield? Tell us about that before we go on to the more complicated and longer term developments that are in the offing.
Is that it's a system that has the ability to interact with its environment and to change its behaviour according to what it encounters, and possibly even to learn from the environment. Well, if we define AI in those terms, is not an acoustic torpedo an AI weapon system. It's out there swimming in the sea, it can hear the noise of a ship's screw, and it can adjust its behaviour, change course, and go and blow that up. To me, that ability to sense the environment and interact with it is what distinguishes an AI system from an automatic system, like a Gatling gun or something like that. You press the button and it fires.
Meet Professor Kenneth Payne. He teaches Strategy at King's College in London. What type of strategy? War strategy. I always wanted to learn how military strategists back in the day planned such large battles in such large fields. How do they know when to flank? How do they know what type of maneuver to do when? What is a pincer attack? So all of these things, they're all part of only one thing: winning. Winning out in the field, but winning first in the mind. Why is Kenneth Payne important in this final level of evil? Level 5? Here's why. Professor Kenneth Payne at King's College London placed 3 frontier AI models together: ChatGPT 5.2, Claude Sonnet 4, and Gemini 3 Flash in a tournament of 21 simulated nuclear crisis scenarios. After running a few simulations on what GPT-5, Claude, and Gemini would do if they were given nuclear scenarios, I swear the results would make anyone sober again. These AI models opted to deploy nuclear weapons in 95% of all simulations. So just imagine for a second if they were in the wrong hands. From AI extortion to robocalls to AI scams to deepfakes, if this got into the wrong hands, there would be nuclear weapons flying all over the place. AI is now being simulated and fitted for nuclear war. This means that human decision will almost become obsolete, useless.
You perhaps remember there was a UN report suggesting that one had been used in the context of the Libyan civil war, and then there was a big debate about, well, what was this platform and what was the code, what was going on its inside, was it really fully autonomous? And that illustrates part of the problem. It's difficult to know.
If you were to pull away one major lesson from this video, after learning about all the 5 levels, I would say that that lesson would be this. So when the devil wants to dance with you, you better say never, because a dance with the devil might last you forever.